ma'am. My name is Asia Kendra, and I am a hairstylist of about 11 plus years now, but I'm in my coaching season. So, what I do is I help beauty professionals create productivity with their back end, meaning like if you want to work smarter, not harder, if you're looking to increase your income as a stylist, or even get from behind the chair and not work as hard. I'm your girl. Like I'm really, really good at helping a lot of my mentees who's in my course right now. And I'm on a search for three more girls. So at the end of this, I'm hoping that I find a new group of community of girls that I can definitely help within the beauty industry. So yeah, that's it.
Oh, okay. Elise, we have never met in person, which, the whole point of this meeting.
Having.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, it's so nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for having me. I'm Alicia, and my business is the Braid Palace. I'm a mobile braider in Atlanta. So I travel to my clients, braid up the hair, get them cute, give them the luxury experience of being in their home. I also have a mentorship program where I teach people how to become mobile braiders. I teach them everything they need to know about the professionalism, licensing, how to gain and maintain clientele, edit and film content, all that good stuff. And yeah, so if you're interested in becoming a mobile braider, I definitely will put my information in the bio. But thank y'all for having me. This is like literally my first, I would say, braider event. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too. We don't really have that many of these like opportunities, so I'm really excited to like have everyone here. Okay, Monique, how are you?
Hello, hello. Hi, everyone. My name is Neek. Such a blessing and just an honor and a privilege to just be here in this group. Indy, I just adore you. I've been watching you for so long, and it's just amazing to be in a room full of such wonderful braiders and hairstylists. Um, I've also had the opportunity to work with Ready Hub as well, and I just think it's amazing that we are just pushing the industry forward. For myself, I am a hair braider. I'm also the owner of Divine Hair Studios. And through braiding and barbering, my husband and I were actually able to purchase our building. So that was a big accomplishment for us. Um, Also, doing things in the coaching space, just helping braiders actually see what we do as a real business and not just something, on the side and things like that. So that's my spiel in a nutshell. Nice
Yeah,
to meet everyone.
that's amazing. Wow. I think
I'll
honestly, I
go.
can only see some people at the top of the screen, so if I
It's fine.
forgot.
I'll go.
Okay,
It's fine.
cool.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Viola Bruce. I am located in Norfolk, Virginia, and the name of my business is Bruce Braids. But as you see on my t-shirt, it says the Braid Campus,
That's
which is
fun.
my nonprofit. It's my nonprofit that I have had for now 2 years, but it's been in the works for over 4 years. So I basically help the youth set up their businesses and give them internship inside of my workspace.
That's great. Oh, nice to meet you. Yeah, it's honestly, I've seen all of you guys through social media, but it's like one thing to, be social media mutuals, but then another thing to sit, kind of in person, but like, talk face to face or screen to screen. So it's so nice meeting you. Am I kind of forgetting anyone that's not at the top of the screen? Just kind of like jump in if I am, but I think out of everyone. Okay, cool. Okay, so let's get straight into what we're talking about today. So,
I know, but it's like I can't just bring you to my crib right now. Like,
okay, let me see. Whoops. Sorry,
You
sorry.
can you can mute their mics. Sometimes they don't realize when they join in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I wish it like did it automatically, but I guess I didn't set that up properly. But
It's okay.
okay, so let's get into it. So I know with the changing environment and just with the times today, there are a lot of new challenges that we're facing, not only in the braiding industry, but in the hair industry in general. There is so many things going on, changing, and the fact that we have to be resilient with it all just shows first, how strong we are, and then second, kind of like how adaptable we have to be. So, based on that, what are the biggest challenges that you guys are facing as a beauty professional right now? And honestly, I kind of want to go first. First off, I feel like we're kind of facing this era of the battle of Instagram stylists. And I know you guys know what I'm talking about. Like sometimes with social media now, I feel like some people are kind of like dragging stylist name through the mud. So it's not really too much of a personal challenge for me because I know what I'm about. I know what you guys are about. But I think just in general, just being a stylist on social media is kind of like the Wild West now. You got some people out here that hate stylists that post on social media, and then, the other people who are actually true professionals. I just feel like that itself is just like, whoa. So, what do you guys think? I think we'll do this kind of like raise whoever just unmutes their mic and just starts talking first. You have the floor.
I guess my mic is already unmuted. I want to resonate with you. I feel like there's so much war between clients and stylists. I don't know if it's a social media thing. We're in like a cancel culture where every wrong thing is being broadcasted. And I get it. I get both sides. I get why clients feel the way they feel. I get why stylists feel the way they feel. But I remember when I joined the hair industry back in 2014, even when people made mistakes, it was never a war. And I feel like that's what changed. I feel like there's like a friction between the stylists and the clients and who's what and this and that. But I do believe there is a solution to that. I feel like we should all be accountable for all types of actions and just come into one accord and become that community again to like just be like, okay, people make mistakes. Right? We go to different stores, they make mistakes. Let's give everyone the benefit of the doubt. But if people are actually giving constructive criticism, let's also take it, right? From both ends. Another issue that I personally feel is in the beauty industry is like this battle between the washing hair thing. I feel like this has been a constant conversation about stylists charging extra to wash hair. And honestly, I don't charge extra to wash hair, like especially like halfway through, because I had a salon with sinks in them. So it was just like a one thing that I'm like, if your hair is dirty and you want like a leave out, you can't have dirty hair to get the leave out. I think for braiders, when you guys talk, you can agree with me when you say you can't have dirty hair to get braids, right? Everything needs to be clean. So washing hair should definitely be a requirement. And I feel like we should include it in our services because that's the first step before you do the actual service, right? Now, if you want to charge for it, I think, and this is just my opinion, if you're going to charge for a service like that, give them an incentive, like add wine to the appointment or give them like a take home package if you're going to charge for something like that, just so they don't feel like it's a give or take. It's more like a communication thing, both ends. But yeah, that was one of the problems that I've noticed a lot in the hair industry.
Yeah, for sure. Anybody have anything else to kind of like piggyback off of that?
I do. So I think there's a disconnect between the client and the braider or the hairstylist because of pricing, for one. Like that's like the biggest thing. If you post a video of your hairstyle with the price, it's gonna go viral. I mean, people are gonna be like, "Oh, you charge this much for that? Like that's not worth it." But I think the client's job is to find a stylist that's in their budget. And I think also as hairstylists and braiders, we need to make sure that we're coming with the hairstyle, like we're doing it how it's supposed to be done, making sure it looks good so nobody will ever question your price. And I just think that another disconnect is that a lot of people, they say bring back the auntie hairstylists, bring back the auntie braiders and everything, but everything's getting more expensive. Why not braids? Like, why not hair? Like everything's getting more expensive. Rent is going up. Uh Groceries, literally everything. So I think that braiders and hairstylists, have the right to raise our prices because this is what we do for a living. This is our livelihood. So I don't know. I just think the battle with the pricing is just like it's so old to me.
Yeah, for sure. I can definitely agree. Kind of anyone else? We can kind of take some people as well. Violet,
The
go.
battle, I'm sorry, the battle for me lately is that I feel like braiders now need to educate themselves a little bit more on natural hair because lately I have been seeing a lot of young ladies coming in and having their hair damaged. So the packaging with the newer braiders, I feel like they need to start doing the shampoos and conditions and they need to start doing
Ok,
treatments and
ahora,
kind of
si yo
telling their
vengo y
clients,
tomo la M,
and telling their clients, hey, let's take a break. Um, so the connection between the stylist and the client, making sure that they're keeping healthy hair.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I think throughout my years that I was braiding, you can definitely tell the difference between somebody that kind of should be getting braids and kind of like maybe should hold off from getting braids for a while. There are those stylists that won't care at all because it's kind of just like, I'm here to braid and that's it. But I think going that extra step, extra layer deeper to be like, okay, you know what? I'm also knowledgeable in natural hair and maybe you should lay off the braids for a while, to make sure that the health of your hair is still in check. Because, if your hair is not, healthy, there's nothing to grab on to braid to or to style in the first place. So I think it does run a whole lot deeper when it comes to education. And yeah, unfortunately, as people who do have the knowledge, I think it's also our job to like spread the word of that as well. Because, even though the internet, it's like those posts will go viral. I think I just seen one actually. This is not really hair health, but I think she posted like, don't come like this, come like this, already blow dried out, which okay, but it's just the tone of what she was saying was like, you don't like hair texture at all, like none. And it's kind of like, okay, like, it's just a little tone deaf. So with that education, we know how to handle hair better and how to, just we're more educated. So for sure. Is there anyone else that wants to say, like, add on to that?
Sure, I would like to add on to it. My name is Chantel. Hi guys. It varies from state to state. I'm an educator, so I'm licensed. So it's different because you have some braiders that braid and that's their talent. And then you have licensed cosmetologists that can shampoo hair, that can do trims, and they can do different treatments. So if you are a braider, no flag, no nothing to you guys. I think you should partner with a licensed cosmetologist, depending on how your state is, and you can refer them to that person to get treatments, get trims, and to have the break. And then with Asia said as well, um, if you're going to do shampoos, offer it in the price so they don't know. So if they want to come shampoo already, so it won't be an extra cost, then you should add it in the price so they wouldn't know. So if they want to come and you have the shampoo, you already set the price and you set the time allotted for them to do that. So it varies. So if you're not a licensed cosmetologist, partner with somebody that's licensed in your area where they can go get trims and the treatment, and then you can just be the braider or vice versa. If you are a licensed cosmetologist, then you can offer shampoos and treatments. I know in Pennsylvania, braiders can't just braid hair. You have to be licensed to, shampoo. That's my input.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, even personally, because like you're saying, it varies state to state. Or just from my own personal experience, because I was one to not go to cosmetology school. I just, braiding was my thing. But the communication between me and my clients that I had to be top tier. Me just telling them, hey, come like this, it's the tone is just not appropriate. And what you're saying makes so much sense because, if you're partnering with somebody who does offer those cosmetology services, they can go get their hair washed, trimmed, everything treated, and then they come to you and their hair is healthy and it's ready to be braided. So that's definitely, that's key. Okay, anyone else?
Yes. So I just wanted to also piggyback off of what Chantel said because it's funny. That's exactly what I did. I am also a licensed cosmetologist because at the time I'm also in Pennsylvania. And at the time, you had to have a cosmetology license or a natural hair braiders limited license in order to braid legally in my state. And so I got my cosmetology license, but I still only offered braiding services. But then when I transitioned into the salon, I knew that my clients' hair, not just my clients, but other people in my area, they needed more hair care than just the protective style of getting their hair braided. So I brought in another licensed cosmetologist who offers the deep conditioning treatments, who offers the wash and the protein treatments and just all of those different things. And so now it is a way, anybody that's even thinking about it, it's a way to really extend the life cycle of the client that's with you because now so many of my clients are now also getting those pre-treatments done with her and it's keeping everything under one roof. And maybe I didn't get the full ticket, but because we are also commission based, whether they come to me or they come to her, that still comes back to the house. And so for us as solo braiders, it's just another way of thinking of how to expand the lifestyle or the life cycle of our client, but also how to expand in our business overall by making sure that we are able to cover them from end to end. And that no matter what they need, even if it's not with us, it can be through an extension of our business that they could still get the services that they need.
Totally. Yeah, I totally.
Okay, I'm gonna piggyback real quick and maybe we can go to the next part question. But
Yeah, go.
if you go to DPOR website, you can actually still get a certification for your that natural hair certificate. So those braiders that's in the salon that they're single salon stylists, you guys can get that certification so that you can wash hair. I just wanted to put that out there. But I went to school for cosmetology, so I just wanted to put that out there.
No, that's great. I wasn't aware of that, so that's always great to know. What was the website? If you could just drop it in the chat, just in case anybody else wants that resource. Just to check up on the chat, someone said to expand on what Asia said earlier about her coming into the hair world when things were a lot different. I've witnessed her growth firsthand over the years from 2014 to now, as she's balanced school and her hair business. Back then, clients respected stylists and didn't tear each other down. Whereas now, every little issue seems to become a problem, and people often forget that stylists are human too. I've seen her navigate every stage of business and hardship, and she's grown tremendously as a person and as an entrepreneur. Her journey is a testament to the fact that growth combined with being accessible to clients is key to a successful business. Watching her evolve has reminded me that while I won't always be perfect, I can still be present and learn from my experiences. She's so proud of you, and may your business.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Don't make me cry now.
That
Oh
was
my
so
gosh, thank you.
sweet.
That was so sweet of you. Thank you. Yes, because just to just say one last thing before we move on, like the world has changed in the last decade, and licensed or not, everyone, client or stylist, we all know that back then in 2014, 2013 was a very different era than 2025. And we didn't have TikTok, we didn't have all these classes and one-on-ones and resources. So I'm just happy that I came into the hair industry so long ago to watch the transition. But I was only 16 when I started, and I'm now 27. So I was a baby, and I literally learned as I went. And I'm telling you right now, I'm still happy, even with the problems that are faced right now. We're going to face problems in the next 10 years. You get what I mean? So I just want everyone to know that we're all going to collectively work together, and those that get it, those that don't. But I just know I'm with the girls that get it, and I want to be able to create big communities that we can not tear each other down, because some of us are experts, some of us are beginners, but we can still be in the same room. You know what I mean? So that's just what I want to end off with.
If
Mhm.
I could just piggyback on that really quickly, if you guys don't mind. So my name, I know you guys are looking at my name like, what is that? Okay, so it's it's pronounced niggist, like biggest, but with an N. So I entered the hair game in 1994 is when I graduated hair school. I am not even in hair anymore. The reason why I always like to talk to other hairstylists is first, I went to school. Then I was an assistant. And I think that being an assistant is very important because you learn how to do time management. You know, you have that mentor that you're assisting. Then I got my own, I earned my own chair. Then I end up owning two hair salons. You know, we've done classes for Sebastian, if y'all remember Sebastian, that was Willa. Goldwell, Tony, I mean, I've been trained by Tony and Guy, Vidal Sassoon. I ended up leaving the industry in 2015, but I knew I was going to start to leave around 2008, 2009, because you have your clients sitting in your chair. Oh yeah, I saw on YouTube. Oh yeah, I saw here, I saw there, and I was like, oh no, because I was making high six figures, and I need my six figures to keep six figuring because the bills don't go down just because you're furloughed or you saw something on YouTube or an invisible part. I'm like, I am literally a master colorist. I know primary, secondary, and tertiary colors. I know what I have to do to counterbalance this because you came in here with five colors from your root to your tip. So all I want to say is that I'm currently in finance now, but what I want to say is to cover several different things. What I am hearing and what I am seeing, especially on social media with the come washed, bring your own edge control, come by yourself. I mean, it's just like, are you licensed, friend? Like that to me is just crazy. For one, I don't know what you wash your hair with. I don't want that on my irons. Secondly, and I hope I don't offend anybody on this call, I also think that a way to differentiate ourselves from these other people is to stop using plug-in appliances. Go back to an iron that only a professional knows how to regulate when it comes out that stove. Because what I noticed is that even before I got the game, a lot of these clients felt like they could do what I did. And I'm like, no, you can't do what I did. I never personally used plugins, but I do know that a few of the hairstylists that worked in my salon did. And I was like, that's going to end up being problematic. Fast forward a decade later, it's problematic because everybody just wants to buy a wig off here, put it on, melt it, and then just plug and play. And they're not respecting the people who've gone to school. Going to school here in California, 1,600 hours. I did it in 10 months because I was like, oh no, we can come to school 6 days a week. We're going to go ahead and knock this out. But they oftentimes, I'm like, I really started to feel like hairstylists who are some of the most important people in the world, because how many times have you talked your client off a cliff? They come in feeling one kind of way and they're all over the place. They got all kind of problems. Like we have to be a hairstylist, a doctor, a psychologist, a parent, a mentor. But then, it's all, well, so and so does it for $30. Go ahead and go over there, friend. So I started to see the writing on the wall, of course, and I was like, you know what? I loved my clients, but I didn't like the direction the industry was going in. But I do feel like it can be reversed. And I think what it takes is, I personally was mentored by Jamaica Wilson. I don't know if y'all know who she is. She's the first African American woman to win a Grammy. I'm sorry, an Oscar for hair, because she does Viola Davis. That's who personally trained me. And so I realized that because I was mentored, I turned around and began to mentor other stylists. And I do think that sometimes people just want to get to the money quick because they hairstyling is glamorous. Don't get me wrong. Because you are taking something, you're taking nothing and turning it into something. But they oftentimes forget the fact that we want our clients scalped to be healthy. We want their hair to grow. We want their edges to remain here. We don't want them going. There are a lot of things that we want for them, and they don't sometimes see it because also, too, it's unfortunate that sometimes don't let us pull up in a luxury car. That's a whole nother problem. Don't let us have luxury anything. It's another problem. But the men in the industry can pull up in a G-Wagon. Oh, it's oh so nice. I mean, there's so many things that we have to counterbalance just being a woman in this industry. But I do know that as long as we, like the previous people who spoke, we're talking about, which is stick together. Be sure you have an exit plan. Like, because, your body can give out at any time. You guys agree, right? You can go to work today, that pinky starts going numb, that back starts hurting, and it's traveling down the left. Don't even get me started. So I'm like, okay, we have to have an exit strategy. First, we want to be sure that we're mentoring people. And another problem that we have in our industry is that I can pour into you because Jamaica poured into me. I know everything outside because the hair school I went to was white. I'm just gonna put it out there. So it was no pressing and curling there, but that's how I learned to be a master colorist because they don't play about their color and you have to know how to cut, right? And so when she poured into me, I said, okay, when I get the opportunity, I'm gonna pour into others. So I pour into a guy named Corey Jones. His name is Harris Corey J on Instagram. He does everybody. He makes more money than I did when I was a hairstylist. I was like at around 200K a year. He's at 3 to 400 because he has Instagram. Do you understand what I'm saying? But I think that what's important too is that we got to reach one, teach one. But it is upsetting sometimes when, Jamaica taught me. When I was offered a salon and my friend Ade said, I need to know your answer by Monday and it's Friday, I went to Jamaica and said, how do you feel about me taking this opportunity? Because that is kind of like, I'm not going to say it's a slap in the face, but we know that when you train these people and they go across the street, they're now your competition. If we just want to be honest, they're your competition. So she told me yes, and I took it and I ran and I said, I have to be sure that I pay it forward. I remain positive. I keep business business. Like even in the salon, I've been in salons and they're discussing religion. They're discussing politics, which I never allowed in my salon because these things can start wars. It's just like, it's just crazy. And so I think that as long as we remain professional, as long as we remain, because at the end of the day, if you have a license, you deserve the prices that you're asking. And if this person doesn't want to pay for it, then go ahead and pay your $30. But you'll be calling me later to fix said problems. And that price is going to be a whole different price. Because I've had those clients who come and they have tiger spots because you thought you could just throw bleach on your hair. Now your roots is too light, your ends, you forgot you had cellophane. That's how old I am. I just said cellophane, y'all. Don't laugh. But it's just all these problems. So the exit plan, we also need to have an exit plan because we can get hurt at any point in time. I reach out to hairstylists who don't have SEP IRAs, who don't have 401ks. Maybe you don't even have life insurance. I reach out to other stylists because I wasn't offered, nobody came in my salon ever to say, let me show you how to retire properly. We usually hear that when we go to a job, which I'm not interested in. I haven't had a job since I was 20. I'm now 52. I'm never going to have a job. But if I didn't, we have to be left to our own devices to find all these things. And we're thinking, oh, we can, oh, my book's not good this week, but it'll be fine next week. And the next week, because doing hair, the money can be like dope dealing. That's how fast the money can come. And you're thinking it's always going to come. It's always going to come. And then boom, it stops. So, that's just really what all I wanted to add. And so my Instagram is on the thing. I'll put it in the chat and I offer my services in regards to giving people information, for free because I was 38 when I left the industry. And that's when I started to get my own retirement. Now I've replaced my income, so I'm not hurting for any money. But what if I hadn't had some forward thinking? Because right now we have to have forward thinking because it's almost like these unlicensed stylists or these stylists on Instagram. I don't know if they're licensed or not, so I don't want to talk about anybody because I don't know the truth. But they're just invading, if that makes sense. And if you're not in a salon and you're at a place where you may not have the same overhead as the next person, then yeah, you can undercut with pricing. But ultimately, clients can go wherever they want to. Now, you couldn't chair hop in my salon. I didn't play that. But people, they just chair hop and that's just their nature. So while I could wish you guys continued success, because I did it from 1994 to 2015. I know the work. I know the hours. People are like, when you getting off? I don't know. I don't know. I know what time I'm gonna start. I don't know what time I'm getting home. Hopefully we can find more assistants who want to assist and go through the process so that they can know more instead of just trying to hop straight to a chair. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
there's the little minutia that you learn while being an assistant on how to have proper customer service and, just building a rapport with these clients. And which is what I'm seeing. Corey always tells me it's so hard to get an assistant. I'm like, if somebody were to mentor under Corey, the bag would be no joke because he travels the world doing people's hair, including doing his own clients. And so he's at Hair is Corey J, and Corey is spelled Corie. I'll put in the chat, but let's just continue to mentor others. But I think we also need to be sure that we have our own house in order in case something goes left,
I
like
totally
when COVID happened.
I agree. I agree. I think everything will come back like full circle. First off, thank you for
Yes.
sharing because that was some really insightful information, especially from your perspective of being in the industry for such a long time and then kind of
Hmm.
evolve. But I definitely think it'll come back full circle, and hopefully, I think it'll work out in the end. And the people who aren't meant to be in the industry will kind of be weeded out eventually, you know? So, okay, perfect. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next question so we can kind of keep the flow going. So, let's talk a little bit about social media. First off, social media is such a powerful tool, not only for braiders, but for everybody in the beauty industry. It allows you to reach people across the world at any point and, tenfold scale your business. But you don't want to only rely on social media. So I am going to plug ReadyHub. ReadyHub does have a marketplace where you can list your business. So it kind of does the marketing for you. So imagine if you have your business, instead of posting so much on social media, your business is also being on ReadyHub's marketplace. So, for example, a client can go on ReadyHub and type in, I need a braider in Miami. Your business will be listed on that marketplace. So, that in combination with social media is definitely going to give you the best bang for your buck. So, talking about social media, what are your biggest practical tips for people who are just starting out? I mean, since I'm talking, I'll go first because social media has definitely been like a roller coaster, especially in the past couple years. And starting out using social media was exactly how I built and scaled my business from me just doing like a hobby to me actually turning it into a business. So, my main tip is consistency. And I know that sounds really cliche, but I feel like consistency can mean a couple of different things depending on who you ask. Some people are going to say, oh, you have to post every day. Some people are going to say, oh, you have to post 3 times a day. I think the answer is that you need to find out what consistency means to you and stick with it. I think consistency means just continuing to show up and not ghosting your business. So whether that means like you can only hop on social media 3 times a week, 2 times a week, if that's what works for you and that's you giving 100%, so be it. You're staying consistent. But, try to figure out what works for you. Anyone else have anything to add?
Yes, I love social media. Love it, love it, love it. I know that sounds crazy, but I think it is such a resourceful tool for us. I know that there's a debate between that and how heavy it is and everything like that. But one of my tips that I would say is in India, I love that you said that consistency is based on what you can do. So there is no one size fits all when it comes to consistency. But the one thing that I would like to share is that we have to learn to uncomplicate it. Take a little bit of time to understand what the platform you're on. Take a little time to find out what does that platform value, and then just uncomplicate it. We're in an age now where, and I think anyone who has had viral content can attest to, we don't have to show the beginning, the middle, the end, the this. Like, we could be doing one motion in a video. And if we just take the time to just even learn who we're actually talking to and create a hook that resonates, whether we're talking to other braiders, connecting with our community, or we're gearing our content towards our future clients, the key is relatability. And so if we just take a little bit of time to learn or get coached or join things that it's already made up for you, either way, just uncomplicate the process because we're in 2025 and we need it. So,
Mhm. I definitely want to piggyback off of Monique. That is exactly what I teach my students. So I'm going to give people 3 tips. I want everyone who's listening, take a notebook out, get some, because I like to drop gems. A lot of people on TikTok call me the gem dropper, on Instagram, because I just love to give out information because just as Miss Solomon said, each one's each one. So I'm going to give you guys 3 tips that worked for me. So, a little backstory, before I did hair, I was actually in LaGuardia for performing arts. I used to sing. And that right there, I feel like now that I'm 27 and I'm so much older than I was before, I never realized how much it helped me with confidence. I feel like the first thing we all need is our own version of confidence because we can tell you to post twice a week, we can tell you all that we want. But if you don't even have belief in yourself, you're not even going to show up, not even once, right? So I feel like let's start from the inside. Confidence is something that if you feel like you don't have, do things. And if I was a shy girl, crazy, I'm about to start like a shy girl series where I'm going to pretend like I'm shy and give shy girl advice. If I was someone who's not confident in myself or, scared of the internet, scared of failure, all these things, I would start small. I will go around my family, my friends, and I will start doing things in front of them and getting real life reactions. They're people that I love. So they're going to give me real life answers that is from love too. Even if it's constructive criticism, it won't feel as an attack because it's someone that I know. From there, I would start going to small, small, intimate networking events. It is something that will help you read the room. It will show you how to communicate with other people. Doing these little things can make a big difference in your confidence because you'll find yourself, okay, maybe I'm not a talker, but I'm really good at making someone laugh. Maybe I'm not really someone that, knows much about how to communicate with different people, but people seem to attract me because of whatever. Like you start to figure out yourself and figure out what works, what sticks, right? And do not be afraid of trial and error. Just because it worked this time, it may not work again. And don't think just because it worked once and it didn't work, that means it's not good. This is life, guys. Things are meant to work and to not work, but the point is you're never losing, you're always learning. So just remember that, guys. Never a loss, always a lesson, always a reason why. There's actually something that I saw recently on social media where it's like I prayed to God and I asked for flowers and he gave me rain. When I said I read that 10 times, I'm like, whoa, that is so true. Sometimes we ask for success and, not to go too spiritual, but God will give you the things that take you to the thing of success because success is a big word. We all want it. We all love the fame and fortune, but you guys always forget the baby stone steps, right? And never skip it because it's the baby stone steps that takes you to the big, ending. So my advice to anyone in the beginning is start small, be okay with yourself, give yourself grace, be around your communities. If you feel like you're the biggest in the room in your friendship groups and your family, go to new groups where you don't feel the biggest so that someone else can pour into you, right? If I feel like I'm always the smart one talking, yapping, I hate it. I'm really like, no, I want you to talk back to me and tell me something I didn't know. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's better when you have a plethora of people around you to fill you in spiritually, emotionally, financially, all these different areas. And I promise you, once you work on you inside internally, it will literally spring off naturally through your content, through posting, and all these different things. Because most of my students, they're like, Asia, I know you're telling me to post, some of my personal stuff, but it's separate from my business. And I need to post to my personal page. I'm like, no. Let me tell y'all something real quick. Write this down. People do not buy the products or the services you have, they buy you. Once they like you, the person, you can sell a pencil, and I promise you, they're gonna buy the pencil. You know why? Because they like you as a person. They love the way you speak. They love the way you give out information, how authentic you are. So you being a hairstylist is an add-on, guys. I never identified myself as just a hairstylist. I feel like when you put that name over your head, now everything that has to do with hairstyling is who you are. When you fail, that's who you are. When you win, that's who you are. No, I'm a person. I love to sing. I love to eat pizza. Doing hair is an extra add-on that makes me lots of money, that brought me a lot of places, but it's not who I am. You get what I'm saying? I am a person. I am a girl. I am who I am. And what I come with are the things that are accolades that brought me to where I am. And I don't want to stop here. I love how Miss Solomon says she's in finance now. I literally went to college for accounting, for marketing, and people would think, why you can go to hair school right after college? I'm like, because there's so much more to life than doing hair. Like, I'm not gonna be 90 years old cutting and slaying. Like right now, I'm in my salon suite. Like I literally just finished a client. Like it's so crazy how both worlds can go into the same place, but I don't deem myself as just a hairstylist. So just to cut this real short, my advice to beginners is find yourself. If it takes a while, take the while because you don't want to show up as someone who you're not. Start in small circles, networking events, go to the grocery store for crying out loud, talk to people, communicate. What happened to people talking to people? Like it's not just texting and phones all day. Go outside and go smell the grass. I know that sounds cliche, but it literally helped me go from 0 followers to 103,000 followers. And I would love to help anyone else that needs that type of advice. That's it.
Okay, gem dropper. She dropped some gems for sure.
Yes. Oh my gosh. My daughter would say clock it.
Okay, anybody else want to add anything while we're on the topic of social media?
I do have a few tips.
Yes, give it to us.
So I basically got all of my clients. I moved to Atlanta in 2021. I had no clients. I had nothing. I was broke. Y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all a little tea. I was on rental assistance. I was down bad when I first moved here. And social media completely transformed my business. And I realized like once okay, like you can show your work and everything. Yeah, yeah. Your work is going to speak for itself. But like Asia said, if you don't show personality, if you don't show a little bit of face sometimes, people aren't going to feel comfortable to book with you. So you kind of have to radiate through these people's screens, show up as yourself, and they'll feel comfortable to book you. Show your personality and, try to stay on the positive side, even though we go through so much. Talk about the positives of being a braider, encourage people to be braiders, encourage people to book with you and feel comfortable. Um, and I'm a very spiritual person, and I feel like all of my clients, they feel a connection to me through the screen. And they always tell me, like, oh, I book with you because I felt comfortable. So I think showing your face, showing your personality, giving tips, giving some free information will bring clients to you through social media. So give them a little bit, but when that mentorship drop, pay that full price and you can get some more. But yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Period. Wow. Yeah. Honestly, when you start to see momentum as you continue posting, it's kind of like feeding, it's like addictive, you know, if you're seeing like you're posting, you're getting more inquiries on your appointments, you're getting more engagement on your posts. It's kind of like, wow, like you can actually see the payoff and the return on your investment. So definitely I agree with everything. Anybody else want to add anything before we move on to the next topic, point? Okay, cool. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about standing out in 2025 and how, like, what are your upcoming kind of like plans, whether that be how you're going to build trust and retain your clients, or if, you know, you're deciding that you're going to raise your prices, drop your prices, like, what are you going to do in these upcoming years to stand out? Because I know there's so many people, like some people were saying, like sometimes, especially being a braider, depending on your state, you can just wake up tomorrow and decide that you want to braid. So there's so many people in the industry and so many new people joining. What are you doing to stand out? Let me know.
I'll go. I feel like in my business in particular, because I'm mobile, I think that alone is like its own market. Like I know the type of clients that I would attract is like people who work from home. They might have a kid, may have kids, a family, and they value convenience. So when I'm marketing myself, I focus on convenience. I focus on offering a luxury service and moving forward, just building community because I realize I can't do anything by myself. Like I've been trying to be a one woman show, but I really, I'm trying to build a team and go to go to events and, just show up whenever I can. And of course, being more consistent on social media and letting people in on my journey of being a mobile braider, telling people about my story, like, oh, I went to this client today, we talked about this, and just being relatable and yeah, offering classes, like I said, and just helping other people become mobile graders.
Yeah, definitely. I think for me personally, for these upcoming years, I've definitely made a transition, which I know that Miss Solomon here was talking about. So me personally, I was experiencing like really bad carpal tunnel. So, yep, it got me. But with that being said, I've done a little bit of transitioning into diving deeper into marketing and just figuring out where I want to move like my business and figuring out like strategy. So I really dive deeper into marketing, but I'm also figuring out like social media wise how I can leverage that and help other people. So for me, what I'm doing to stand out is to just give as much value as I can on the internet. Like, you know how Asia was saying, like she drops gems. Honestly, giving the most value that you can online is gonna help you gain engagement, followers, whatever, because people love to learn. They get online to learn things, to grow their own businesses. So honestly, for me, because I'm on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. I'm indie Bindy Braids, but I do make a lot of content about business, about braiding your own hair if that's something that you're interested in. There's a lot of people interested in like DIY now, just because of the changing climate. I'm definitely can see both sides of like, being a braider, but also being a client. The economy is crazy right now. So I like to cater to like both audiences and kind of just figure out what does the industry need right now? What do the clients need right now? And just trying to create content around that.
Yes, I want to piggyback off of that, Indy. So, two ways that I'm standing out, and I feel like I do this every year, every time there's a change in the world, because we're ever evolving, right? I feel like we're never going to be at a stop point where things stop changing, right? So, what I actually do is, and I never realized I was doing this till now when I took a pause on things, is I took a break. I'm in this hiatus right now where I scream instead of booked and busy, because that was the era at a point. I am now invested and rested. And I feel like this little slogan I got thrown out there where I'm like, I like rest. I like sleeping now. And I'm actually pushing that out to show people, especially as Black women, and I'm the first American born in a Caribbean family, we don't rest enough. Okay. We don't rest enough. I feel like as hairstylists, we would work from 9 a.m. to 3 a.m. the next day religiously. We would stand up on our feet. But, just as Solomon said, one day your pinky might hurt you. One day you might not be able to use your money makers. What are you going to do then? Right. So, one thing that I'm doing to stand out is trying different marketing tactics. So another gem, write this down. I have this thing called dot.com. It is a wristband. It is something that's on my phone, on the back of my phone. It's a card. Every time I go to networking events and I share like, hey, what's your Instagram? Instead of like taking their phone and putting my Instagram, I say tap my watch, tap my card. And they're like, ooh, what's that? And I realized something. The old school business card thing gotta go. You'll save so much money with just that one device that I just told you. Number two, people are gonna go home and remember me. Out of everyone in the room, they're gonna be like, "You wouldn't believe what happened today. I was getting all these business cards. This one girl, she just tapped her watch. I'm rememberable." So that's something I always tell people: do something that's out of the norm. See, me, I don't know if it's the Aquarius in me, but I love being outside the box. If everyone's going left, I'm gonna be by myself going right. I feel like I'm always like this in the hair industry. For instance, when COVID happened and everyone couldn't get their hair done, I'm like, okay, since you can't come to the salon, I'm gonna bring the salon to you, right? Pivot, right? I was able to make wigs ready to go because I'm like, I'm gonna make this money one way or another, and that's what I did, right? Another way that I was standing out is now that everyone's kind of doing the services of doing hair, that's another reason why I'm coaching because I realize so much people are the service providers but they're not going to school as much. They're not motivated to learn as much. So we got to show them that this is not all peaches and cream in this industry. Let me be authentic enough to tell you there's going to be days you're going to go 3 weeks with no money. There's going to be a day you're going to have a burnout and you're not even going to want to get up today and go do hair. Let me show you what to do just in case that happens, right? Create multiple sources of income, right? What is some ways you can create multiple sources of income? Super easy. Digital products. Start teaching what you know, y'all. Like, I don't care if you're just in the beginning, middle, or end. You know something someone else doesn't, right? Teach people. Like, even if it's a small ebook on how to gain your first client. That is an ebook that you can help somebody in your community with, right? Another income is take one of those add-on services. Let's say you're a hairstylist and you do silk presses or trims. Take one of those mini things that you do and offer that to people instead of like bigger packages, being that people don't have as much money. For me, I would offer color services by themselves. I will color people's wigs for them without them having to come in, and it's a little cheaper than getting your hair done and getting it colored. So I'm able to have them get a low ticket price offer with, I'm still able to make money, right? You don't have to book me to get a service by me. Another way that I stand out is I actually show my face on social media. Like I feel like everyone's on this put a million videos together and put a music on top of it. Very lazy marketing. I don't know. That's what I think of it. I actually sit in front of the camera. I'm not afraid to show my face, even if it's a pimple or I'm not looking the great. I'm going to show up on that camera and I'm going to talk. Going live, let me tell y'all something. The power of going live, you guys are sleeping on it. Go live. Literally, you can make sales right then and there. You can meet people and they will trust you. We're in the era of digital, right? Where people don't get to see you before they actually see you. So you want people to be like, I like her, even though it's screen to screen. So when I book her, I'm not going to feel weird, right? If you don't show yourself online, guys, this is why you're not getting booked. This is why people don't trust you because it's like, who's behind the brand? Like, who is she? Some of you guys have the name of your brands as your Instagram, but you're never on the actual Instagram. So why is your Instagram even your name? Like it's stuff like that, right? Another thing is don't be afraid to show failure. I think Instagram became this thing where you got to be on a yacht, you got to be in the Chanel store, you got to make $10,000 in 30 seconds. Life is never like that. I don't care if I did it once or it was never that serious. I actually show people that I had a salon and I lost lost it. Like that was something that was hard for me to tell people, but I had a brick and mortar store at 19 and I wasn't ready for it. I got it quick, quick, quick. It was the best time of my life, but it was also the most depressed I was. And I'm not afraid to tell people that it's never just because you make money doesn't mean you're going to be happy. Not all money is good money. Because I'm so honest with my crowd like that to even say something like that, they're like, I like her. I like that she's not afraid to show failure because there's nothing wrong with failing, guys. And the last thing I want to say is right after failure is success. So stop being afraid of the very thing that's going to get you to the end anyway. But I'll leave off on that.
No, I love everything that you said about being yourself and being authentic. I think nowadays that's kind of what you have to do. There's a lot of liars on social media, might I say. So when people see you showing up and being yourself and showing your personality, they connect with you more. And that is what's going to draw the followers, the appointments, just building a community. So totally. Okay, to wrap everything up, like a little closing question, if you could give advice to your younger self when starting out, what would it be? I'll go first. I think for me, I think it would be to like there is like it'll come, try to sit in the moment and not be so anxious about the future because that's literally what anxiety is when you're stressing about the future, stressing about things that you cannot control. My advice to my younger self would be to just chill out. Like, if it's meant to happen, it will happen because I know inside of myself that I'm a hard worker. I've got the grind, the mindset. So, if it's gonna happen, gotta make it happen. Anybody else?
Yes, it is it's such an insightful question. But I talked about this yesterday on Braid Talk Tuesday, and I have literally been taking notes. You guys have been dropping like so much that I'm like scribbling at the same time, trying to get all this down. But I even shared just even on a Braid Talk Tuesday yesterday, where it's like we have to just trust that we are where we are supposed to be. And at the end of the day, most of us, we might not even realize it, but we are sitting in an answered prayer and even, or an answered desire or an answered, want or wish. But chances are, if we're at 10 clients, you know, there was a time when we were at one client and we were just hoping to get to 10. If we're at 1,000 followers, there was one time where we just wished to get to 500. So what I would tell my younger self is that to always just try to be present in the moment and understand that as long as you're moving forward and as long as there's momentum, that there's always going to be a constant shifting that's happening. And that one thing, the only thing that is consistent, let me say that again, the only thing that is consistent in life is change. That is the thing that will always ever be happening, and that will never change. So we just have to continue to learn to just be adaptable. I know there's so many things that go on in our industry. There's a lot of um, you know, decisiveness and so many polar opposite things that are going on in our industry. But I think as long as we just continue to have these type of conversations, continue to keep coming together, learn the power of collaboration, and just know that each one of us have something valuable to share, and learn to really diversify our knowledge and tap in and not be afraid to tap into other things, we are capable of anything that we put our mind to. And I'm just a firm believer that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And as long as he is there with me, there's nothing I can't do. And neither the same goes for everyone else too.
That is fire. I love that you just said that. One thing I would tell my younger self is it takes a village even when you get older. What I mean by that, you know how they say it takes a village to raise a child? I still feel like we're still children to the things we don't know. So one thing I would tell my younger self is you didn't have to do everything by yourself, especially what Alicia said. I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Like Get that team. Yes. Oh my gosh. Getting a team is like the hardest thing as a business owner, especially when you're actively running the business. But I got even just one good team member, and she was able to raise my income 10 times fold. If you don't have the time to do the content creation, the accounting, the answering the clients, the DMs, all of that is a lot of hats that we wear. Why are we the only ones wearing those hats? But in Popeyes, you see someone at the register. You see someone flipping the chicken. You see someone in the back managing. Why every other business has multiple people, but we so firm and strong on the I'm independent. I did this all alone. No, get a team of people. Like, and that even means personal circle. Like, make sure you're evaluating your circle. Who is the five most important people that you talk to every day, that you care about? If you feel like you're always the one pouring out yourself or getting trauma dumped because someone broke up with their boyfriend today, that is not pouring into you. You need to be in rooms that literally make your skin crawl. And you're like, whoa, I didn't even think this was possible. The last time I ever felt like that, guys, was when I went to my first ever TikTok event. First of all, I never thought I would even get into a TikTok event. I didn't even think those things were possible for people like us, right? When I got invited to it, I ran. I was scared. I was by myself. But I said, I'm going to meet somebody today. I'm going to get a new business friend. I'm going to get a new business mentor. I went to that event and I was able to land five brand deals from people that we use every day, like olive oil or Black Girl sunscreen. I never thought that would have happened to me. Had I not just got up and told myself I don't have to be alone in this race, I probably wouldn't have ended up in that event. I probably would have talked myself out of it and had that, scarcity mindset thing that we do when we get discouraged. I stopped doing that. And I was able to stop doing that honestly because the circle that I'm around now. I have people that hold me accountable. I have people that check up on me and say, Asia, you've been working hard. Are you okay? Like before, it wasn't like that because I was always booked and busy. And I think people were a little jealous or they just didn't want to be around me or intimidate, whatever the case was. When I changed my circle and I'm like, nah, I want to be around people who show me love before I even show them love. And once I started changing that circle, I felt like that would have helped me so much when I was younger. Because when you're young, you're very motivated, you're going around life, you're just in la la land, and then you're like, oh, I just hit a little bump in the road. How do I overcome that? Had I had the people that I have in my life now, then I probably would have saved 5 extra years of trials and tribulations, right? So my advice to everyone in this room is I don't care if you're young, middle, or old, have a village. Make sure you're evaluating this village. Are you doing something for them that they would do for you? Yes, keep them around, right? Are people around you motivating you to get out of your shell, to try new things? Keep them around. But if you feel like someone's trauma dumping you, if you feel like someone's using you to get to the next level, let them go. With love, let them go. So I hope that was some good advice to y'all.
Okay, so I would tell my younger self to commit and be consistent even when we're not seeing results. Because I started off before, I mean, social media was kind of like it was a thing, but it wasn't really like a business tool. So I was kind of just getting bookings because people were seeing me in school and they were like, oh, can you do my hair and stuff like that? And I wasn't really making any money. And I wasn't promoting myself. I wasn't being my own business billboard. I was just kind of, okay, this is something that I do. And I wasn't fully committed. But once I started to commit and I started to be consistent, that's when I started to actually see growth in my business. And if I had never continued to be consistent, then I would have never gotten to where I am now. So anybody who wants to start a braid career, a hairstylist career, or anything like that, stop waiting. Just do it because time is only going to keep going. You don't want to be, older and have less energy and then be like, oh, I should have did this when I was this age. You don't want to have any regrets when it comes to your business. So just start now. There's no time to waste. We do not have time to waste. Just do it. Yeah.
I totally agree. Wow. Anybody else want to add anything? I think so.
Me. For myself, my younger self, I would say be gentle with yourself. And the reason why I say this is because I had my first child at 16 years old. So everything had to be in order. So success came from me early because I had someone looking up to me. So now that I'm older, I'm like, okay, take a step back because you don't already put in the work. Go lay down. Go do something else for yourself because success is already within you. God has already gave that to you. He put that on you. So the next day, he's going to give you another step to get ahead again. So he's not going to leave you in the back on the back burner. He's going to make sure you're pushing forward. He's going to make sure he put the right people in your community. He's going to make sure every day someone is uplifting you or you are doing the work to uplift someone else. Because at the end of the day, it's not always about us. We still have to work on others that's surrounding us as well. So for me is be gentle with yourself because success is still upon you.
Yes, very insightful.
Amen.
Yeah, right. No, honestly, if we could go back, I wish we could have told ourselves this, but with time and experience and all the lessons that we learned, all that we really can do is tell other people and just learn from our experiences, our mistakes, and just pay it forward. So, okay, that was really amazing. Anyone else have anything to add before we close out?
I do. So, like Viola was saying, definitely be gentle with yourself and give yourself grace, give yourself time to recoup. And the flex is not being booked and busy. The flex is getting yourself booked and busy, doing all that, and then going to the point where you can teach people and making commissions off of people, like teaching people how to braid, teaching people how to become hairstylists, having them up under you, whether you have a mobile business or a salon, and taking the workload off of yourself. Like she said, building a team and also having a healthy work-life balance. You cannot work every day. Like it's not going to work out. You're going to burn yourself out. Your wrist going to be done. Your back going to be hurting. Make sure you're taking care of your body, whether that's going to the gym, eating healthy, because the reason your back hurts is because your core is weak. So you might need to go to the gym. You might need to do a little bit of lifting. You know what I'm saying? So just make sure you're taking care of yourself outside of your job, making sure your mental health is straight, because you can't show up if you're not taking care of yourself. So be gentle with yourself, but also make sure you're making that time. Take care of yourself, have a spa day, go get a massage, go get your back cracked at the chiropractor, something. Just take care of yourself.
Yes, I want to piggyback off of that real quick. Is that okay, India?
Okay, go ahead.
Um, Two things. I know we talked a lot about hairstylists, but there might be people in the room, and you could comment below. Is anybody like working 9 to 5s? Because I feel like there was a thing about social media where they made you feel bad for having an actual job. Here's my thing: let your 9 to 5 fund your 5 to 9. Do not feel bad that you had to still go to college and get that degree or work that little job that you have now, because who's going to fund the business in the beginning? The most money you spend in a business is the beginning of it. So if that means work for somebody else, just like Miss Solomon said, be an assistant. I even suggest if you're going to work a job, why not work a job in the industry you're looking to be in instead of just working any job just to get a dollar? Get inside the industry from a lower tier. Work your way up. I feel like that's free mistakes you get to make. Because once you own that business, y'all, all eyes on you, all liability is on you. So it is normal. Take it from me when I say do not quit that job until you feel like you can hold that business on your own. Let your 9 to 5 fund your 5 to 9. Another small tip for everyone is, like everyone said, give yourself grace. Y'all, I've been in the industry for 11 years. Some of you guys want to get rich overnight. I was 16, I am now 27 years old, and now I'm able to be home every single day and enjoy life. It did not happen overnight. I had to go through a lot of failures. So when you feel like you're failing, do not beat yourself up about it. Be like, oh God, the world's about to end. It's not. the world just began because maybe you needed to hit your elbow to know not to do that thing again. You know what I mean? So just give yourself time and know that everything is divine timing. Maybe you weren't meant to be as big as you are because you're not ready for it yet. So keep on keeping on. You get what I'm saying? And the last thing I want to say before I go is, like I said, I'm looking for three more people. If you're interested in learning how to run a business smarter, not harder, become invested and rested, I am looking for three more people to help because I feel like I love giving out information. My mom said I'm a people's person, and I see why. Like, I just love helping people. Even the things I'm learning from Monique and Viola and all these different people, Alicia. I'm just happy that I never met you guys before, but everything you've said is probably something I didn't know, right? And I'm just happy that India, we're doing this, and I hope we could do this a lot more and get a million people in the room and even do one in person because there's so much we don't know. There's so much that we really don't know, and we need each other, guys. We really do. There's something I lack that someone else may not, and I feel like everyone needs everyone. So I'm just happy that was a part of this. So if you're interested, definitely DM me on Instagram, and I will reach out to you guys later. Love y'all, guys.
Sorry, guys, my computer like kind of froze, but yes, perfect. Okay, amazing. All right, guys, we're gonna kind of wrap it up here. And just to recap, thank you so much for everyone for attending our webinar today. It was amazing speaking to you guys, screen to screen, and getting to hear the valuable information that you were able to share with everybody here. And again, remember the guest speakers, they all have their own businesses, coaching programs. So please reach out to them. They drop their information in the chat as well. But if you didn't have a chance yet, you can kind of like drop it in there now. Also, do not forget to check out Ready Hub. Remember, Ready Hub is your all-in-one booking platform, finance manager. Like Ready Hub has everything that you need to run your beauty business all in one app. It's also a marketplace and it's also free to download and try. So there is no commitment. You don't have to sign up and put your card information and be charged on the spot unless you like it. And be sure to check it out. It's Ready Hub. I'll put it below, but you can also check out the Instagram page as well. And yeah, thank you guys so much for joining. Stay tuned because hopefully in the future we can do more of these and just keep the viable information going and pay it forward. All right, you guys, say email name and IG handle. Yes. Go ahead. I'll kind of just keep us here just in case anybody needs to comment for like a minute or two. Oops, I think I might.
Thank you for that. I just
Yeah.
was trying to get my information out there before you hung up.
Yeah, it's okay. Here, I'll put it right here. Ready Hub. Yes, everyone drop
Yes.
their handles. And also, I'm Indie Bindi Braids or India, if I didn't introduce them.
Yes.
But yes, thank you guys so much. I think someone just dropped their thing.
Shout out to you for
Yeah.
getting us
Yes,
together because,
right.
like I said, this is my first. I don't have any braider friends. I don't have any hairstylist friends, but I'm trying to build that community. So this is something. This is important to me. So I really
Yes.
thank you for inviting me,
Oh,
and I learned a lot from y'all.
oh, thank y'all so
Yes.
much for showing up. No, I definitely can relate because it's one thing to just know each other on Instagram, but then it's another thing to like hear your voice connected with your face, that kind of thing. So hopefully again in the future, we can definitely get some things going because the braider community and the hairstylist community, we need more things for us. Okay.
Yes, we
So
do.
okay, I think everybody kind of put their Instagram. I'd love to collaborate with another brand in another city. If you guys have any questions, definitely reach out to Brady Hub's Instagram or any of the braider or guest speakers that we talked to today. But all right, guys, we're gonna close it out. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and I'll see you
Bye.
next time. Bye.
Yay.